Leo, welcome to your weekly tarot reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead, keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements, and if you're interested in receiving a personal reading, I'm offering a promotion for the month of May, and all the details are in the description below. So if you've been thinking about getting a reading, it's a good time to get one. All right, my friends, let's get started for Leo. We're going to do a Celtic cross and see what the current energy is around Leo for the week ahead. What's the current energy around Leo? Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead. Seven of Pentacles. Okay, Leo. So you may be in a place where you're trying to make a decision about something this week. You might be sort of thinking about it on your own, or you might be chatting about it with people. I'm kind of feeling like you're probably doing more introspection than anything else. Kind of feels like you're trying to decide if something is worth pursuing any longer, or if you want to start something new, or, you know, how you can expand on what you've been working on over here versus, you know, a brand new path over here. So very interesting. Let's see what the obstacle or challenge to this is for you this week, Leo. What is the obstacle to this Seven of Pentacles here? Oh, that's too many. One more time. What is the obstacle? Oh, there we go. Oh, interesting. The Star card is the obstacle. So as you're trying to decide what you're sort of going to want to put your energy behind, where you want to invest your time, money, and resources, and, you know, where you really want to focus your efforts, it feels like what's coming up as the obstacle for you is maybe a dream that you have about pursuing something different than what you're doing now. So this is interesting. It makes me feel like as you're trying to decide which way to go with, you know, where to invest yourself in terms of where you want to make effort and where you want to prioritize what you're focusing on, the thing that keeps coming up as the obstacle for you may be this idea of doing something that you've always dreamt about doing. So it may be that you're sort of dreaming about one thing, and then another part of you is sort of like saying, well, wait a minute, let's look at this realistically. I'm almost hearing two sides to you right now, Leo, where there's a part of you saying, let's go for the dream. You know, it doesn't matter if we've been investing in doing this for so long. Let's focus on this for now, this new idea. And interesting, bottom of the deck is the Ace of Wands. So yeah, there may be this really inspired new idea that you have that feels like a dream that you've always wanted to pursue, or something that could put you in the spotlight, something that's very much in resonance with your authenticity, something that you really feel passionate about. And that dream is creating an obstacle right now for you to choose what you want to do with your time, money, resources, your effort. And it almost feels like there's a battle between the dreamer and the realist within you, Leo. And so it's interesting seeing that Ace of Rods. Let's continue and see where this is taking us. This is very interesting. Okay, so what's top of mind? What's on the conscious mind here for Leo? The Ten of Cups. Oh boy. So you're really thinking about your happiness and what would be the most fulfilling choice. I feel like that's why this Star card is here, is because you might be so tired of something in this Seven of Pentacles. Something that you've been pursuing for a long time, but I wonder if it's making you happy. I wonder if you feel fulfilled and content. I wonder if you're in a place right now where pursuing something that you've always been sort of toiling after or working on isn't giving you that sense of satisfaction anymore. And you're sort of moving, like we said, between the dreamer and the realist. and trying to find solid ground somewhere, but it feels like your happiness and fulfillment is anchored in something that you want to create, something that you desire to do, that's new. It feels new, and it feels like it's a departure from something that you've been doing for a while with that Seven of Pentacles. And it's like you're in the middle of making a choice right now. Bottom of the deck is Justice. So I do really feel like there's sort of two sides to this, you know, the dreamer and the realist. It's very interesting. Let's see what's at the root of the matter here. What's at the base here? What's driving this reading? Wow, you're getting such interesting cards. Okay, so we've got the Lover's card showing up first. You got 3 cards here. So the Lover's card being at the base here, at the root of the matter, whatever this position is driving the rest of this reading. And so that makes me feel like you're wanting to make the choice that feels the most authentic, like we were just saying. So you may be doing something, or you have been doing something for a long time, Leo, and it may not be feeling really fulfilling anymore. You might not be feeling like you connect to it anymore. And this could be anything. It could be a job. It could be a pattern of behavior. It kind of feels like it's something that you do, like that's an effort that you receive some kind of compensation for. And so it could be a job. It could be something that you do for a living, or it could just be something that you've been doing for so long. So you'll have to take it as it resonates here. But it feels like you're wanting to choose something different for yourself, something that's really authentic, something that makes you feel like you're able to be yourself in it and to express yourself. And it's interesting to see the Lovers and the Star card here, because I feel in the context of seeing the Seven of Pentacles, you're in the midst of making a choice about what direction you want to go. And it feels like you want to take the path that's the most emotionally fulfilling. I think you're done with these patterns of behavior that say, I'm doing something I don't want to do because I have to, and that feeling when you get up in the morning and you got to go to work and you don't like what you do and you don't like the environment that you're in and you don't, there's lots of things about it that just don't feel right to you anymore. And it's like you're in the midst of making a decision as to whether or not to continue with that or not. And the interesting thing is that Lover's card came out with the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. So it's interesting because so far in this reading, I've been talking about the dreamer and the realist, and it makes me feel like this is the realist part of you, the Queen of Swords, that's trying to be very logical and make decisions that are, based in logic and whatnot. And then we've got this Queen of Pentacles energy, which is to me sort of the queen that is the healer, and she's so down to earth and so grounded, and she believes in herself. She's very resourceful and she's very resilient. And I see the Queen of Pentacles as an energy that would take a chance on something that felt like a dream, because she trusts herself. And the Queen of Swords trusts herself too, but she may be thinking about logic here, and she may go the way that seems more straight and narrow, the more logical approach, the approach maybe that feels like the logical truth, you know what I mean? And so seeing these two queens makes me feel like there's a lot to consider in your decision, and you're using logic and the part of you that is sort of trust yourself to be resourceful in any situation, because it almost feels like by choosing the authentic path, the one that leads to the most fulfillment, there may be some risk in terms of material risk, like financial, or you may not know exactly how it's going to go. Whereas the path of doing what you've done for a while now, or what you've been doing for a while, that may be more predictable, right? This other avenue may be less predictable. So it's very interesting. It feels to me, and like, look who's on the bottom of the deck. I was thinking about this queen as I was talking, is the Queen of Wands. So I'm going to take this because I can't help but think, and it came out with the Page of Pentacles. I really think, Leo, looking at this reading, it makes me feel like you're wanting to do something new with your time and your effort. You want to put your effort towards something that makes you feel more authentic, more inspired, and it's almost like you're blending these three queens. You want to apply sort of this pursuit of the truth. What is your true authentic path? Using logic and reasoning, and then the Queen of Rods comes in with that creative inspiration and the confidence to go for something. And the Queen of Pentacles comes in with her resilience and resourcefulness, and she's very nurturing, and she's so grounded that she's very secure and she knows who she is. And so it's a very interesting combination with the Page of Pentacles. It's a new little seed that you're planting, and there in the star card, you can see you're watering the earth. You're trying to get this seed to grow. I really think you're about to do something that is a departure from what you've been doing for some time. Wow. What a really interesting reading, you guys. This is fascinating. I wonder, please leave me some comments below and let me know what you're deciding between, if this resonates for you. Let's see what the past influences are in this situation. Okay, past influences. We see the King of Rods with the 10 of Pentacles. So that makes me feel like in the past, you've gone after things and been very successful. That you've put your confidence and your action and your determination and focus towards certain things, and it has yielded a lot of success for you in terms of material success. It's left you feeling secure. It's left you feeling like you've got this stable stability here in the material world. Maybe finances were really, really like stable and solid here. It feels like in the past you have done these kind of creatively motivated choices. Does that make sense? And you've taken the reins here with the King of Rods. You've gone after something with a lot of focus and determination, and it feels like it was really quite a positive outcome when I see that 10 of Pentacles. So it feels like you may have sort of reinvented yourself before, I guess was what I was trying to say, and that it's been successful when you've done that. So you're no stranger to this. This is not evoking fear, I don't think. I think if anything, this is just, you trying to make a decision about what would be the most fulfilling pathway for you, and that you've done this before. So it's almost like you have a blueprint for this already. Very interesting. Let's see what the upcoming influences are, the future influences. 2 of Pentacles. So yeah, you're going to have to make a choice, and you're going to have to prioritize. So it's interesting because in the present day, we see that you're trying to decide which way to go and whether or not something is still worth pursuing. And we see here in the upcoming energy, the 2 of Pentacles, which says that you may have too much on the table, and you're going to have to prioritize something. You're going to have to pick something and pursue that, like make something a priority. So I think you're going to narrow it down between one of these 2 coins, and you're going to sort of prioritize one of them. And I think in order to do that, you're tapping into different aspects of yourself. So you, like I said when I started, you may be going deep within to try to really understand yourself before you make this choice, and choose your pathway ahead. Very interesting. Let's see how does Leo see themselves in all of this? How does Leo see themselves? Oh, wow. Look at that. Ace of Cups and Temperance in reverse. So how you see yourself right now, you may be feeling a little bit impatient with timing. You may be wanting to get this going already, is sort of what I'm hearing in my mind. Like, I just want to get this off the ground already. And it feels like it's such a wonderful new beginning. Notice that the Ace of Cups is here, and the 10 of Cups is on the top of your mind. So you're already going from Ace to 10 in your mind. I feel like you have a blueprint for this. You got that 10 of Pentacles, in the past with the King of Rods, which makes me feel like you've reinvented yourself before, and now you're in the process of reinventing yourself again. And you're doing it this time, I feel, instead of to create stability that's material, I feel like you're doing it to create emotional contentment and fulfillment. So in the past, you made choices around creating maybe security in resources, in your ability to sort of feel stable here in the material world, and have sort of this strong foundation, and now it's like you're thinking, I want to create that for myself on the emotional level. And again, seeing Temperance in reverse suggests to me that you need to do this in moderation, and you need to sort of allow the timing to take place, that you might not be able to rush this. And seeing the Ace of Cups makes me feel like this is something that is truly creating a new emotional sort of space for you, where you feel really content and fulfilled, and it feels like it really connects to you on an emotional level. So you're reinventing yourself to create emotional fulfillment here. Let's see, how do other people see Leo right now? How do other people see Leo right now? Okay, so other people, oh, interesting. Other people may see you right now as, again, being very introspective, sort of you're not interested in any kind of drama or any kind of, you're not getting involved in other people's drama. You're not getting involved in any drama. I feel like you just want to have this very balanced energy that comes with the King of Cups, where you're sort of guiding yourself. When I see it with the Hermit, that you're taking your emotions and you're allowing them to sort of deepen this introspection process that you're undergoing, to sort of really understand yourself and how you're going to create this pathway of emotional fulfillment for yourself. And it feels like other people are noticing that they're noticing, hey, have you noticed that Leo is sort of spending some time on their own trying to understand themselves, and they seem really balanced emotionally. They seem really grounded. And even though you might be feeling a little bit impatient trying to get this moving, and there might be a part of you that is needing to prioritize where you put your energy and your efforts, other people seem to see you as someone who's very balanced in the emotions. And you may be coming across that way because you've done some introspection and you've done some inner work that's helped you to sort of find that balance within, where you can be both present in the now amongst a sea of emotions, but not feel like you're overwhelmed by those emotions. To almost feel like you're able to be present but not immersed, if that makes sense. That's sort of the energy I'm feeling right now, where there's almost like a sweet spot between having an empathetic heart and an intelligent mind. And that allows you to be a very successful leader. And that feels like that's how people are seeing you right now. And it's interesting, the Judgment card came out in the reverse for you. So alongside this, it's almost like people are seeing you as someone who's on the cusp of a breakthrough, that it's obvious from your energy that you're about to do something that will change your life and change the path that you're on, and I think people are noticing that from what I'm seeing. Bottom of the deck is the Tower in reverse. So Judgment and the Tower both being in reverse, it may be that you're at a place where you need to just allow the changes that are outside of your control to happen. And that may be why we're seeing Temperance in reverse, because you might be trying to control things that are outside of your control, because you're really wanting to make some changes in your life, and you just need to sort of be patient and trust, right? To be patient and trust that as you move along the path the rest of the path appears, that you might not be able to see the whole path right now, but you just have to start walking anyway, if that makes sense. Let's see, what are the hopes and fears around this situation for Leo? Hopes and fears. What are the hopes and fears around this situation for Leo? There we go. Okay, so the hopes and fears, interesting. We see the Devil coming out with the Empress. You've got so many major arcana here. I really feel like you're really moving along a pathway here. You have so many major arcana. You have so many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 major arcana in your reading. And that's coming through with the 8 of Wands in reverse. So this is interesting. I think your hopes and your fears revolve around the risk versus the opportunity to really connect with something. So on one hand, we have the Empress, and on the other hand, we have the 8 of Swords, and in between the Devil. So it's sort of like, are you going to allow your overthinking to create an atmosphere where you start to really doubt that you're going to be able to make anything happen here? And it's almost like being a creator and being empowered versus being a victim and feeling helpless. And so it's an interesting balance. Seeing the Devil in between is perfect, because it's sort of like, which way are you going to lean? Are you going to lean towards the part of you that feels empowered to create? Or are you going to lean towards the part of you that feels like a victim who's helpless and can't do anything about anything? You know what I mean? It's very interesting. So it's sort of like you're facing this part of yourself, the shadow part of yourself, where you get trapped sometimes in this story that says, I can't, or I won't be able to, or it won't work. Even though you've done it in the past, we can see that here. It feels like that's part of yourself that you're working on with that Hermit card, that part of yourself that you're trying to set free from those feelings of being a victim and feelings that you're helpless and that there's nothing that will help move anything forward. It's almost like you get caught in this darkness sometimes that says, who do you think you are to do this? And then this other part of you that says, I know who I am and I'm doing this, so it's intriguing actually, because we'll see which way you end up going. It almost feels like a bit of an inner struggle. And I think that's why the Hermit keeps it appeared for you. Now, let's see what could be the potential outcome of this situation for Leo. Potential outcome of this situation for Leo. Okay. So we got 2 cards here. We've got the nine of Swords coming out with the Knight of Cups. So what that tells me is that, again, there's 2 potentials here. You can either get very frustrated, and I feel like this frustration comes with trying to control things that are outside of your control. And it also comes from this idea of being afraid that you can't do something, or that you won't know how, or that it won't work, that you'll take a chance or a risk and it won't work. And then on the other hand, we have the Knight of Cups, which is such a lovely dreamer energy. Remember before in the beginning, I said that this reading almost feels like you're the realist versus the dreamer. And it almost feels like here we can see fear versus love. Are you going to pursue what you love, or are you going to allow yourself to be afraid and not do it? And that's what we see here. Will you be empowered, or will you stay disempowered? Which way are you going to go with this? And it feels like the outcome depends on that. The outcome depends on which way you decide to focus your energy. By focusing on the part of you that is the dreamer, I feel like there is a real opportunity to do something brand new here. But if we continue to focus on the fear and the what if it doesn't work, then we get ourselves all tangled up in this self-imposed restriction and very frustrating period where we feel bound, right? And that leads to a lot of frustration, impatience, and and maybe creating this sort of stuck feeling. Ultimately, I do think that you are going to prioritize something with that Two of Pentacles moving forward into the future, but it'll depend on which one you decide to prioritize. Will you prioritize the fear, or will you prioritize the love? Right? It's very interesting. And again, we see the Tower on the bottom of the deck in reverse. So that really makes me feel like some structures in your life have to sort of really transform or almost transmute into something else in order for the dream to be realized. And that might be some of the frustration or impatience that you're feeling. Wow, Leo, your reading has definitely been the longest one so far. I'm trying to keep these under 20 minutes, but you're way over now. So we're going to close this reading for Leo, and let's just pull one more card. What is the highest guidance for Leo at this time as they're making this choice, this directional choice? Ooh, to the sea. What a lovely card for you to receive, actually, because this To the Sea card is one that guides us to go with the flow. And to know that we can't control the current of the river, but when we step into the river, we sort of just have to trust that it's going to take us where we need to go. And that sometimes it's just the willingness to actually step into the river that's necessary. So being in flow, trusting yourself, when you're in the flow of life, everything so almost kind of feels effortless in some ways. Like when we're not resisting and we're not sort of overwhelming ourselves with worries and anxieties, it's like everything seems to work out when we stop scrambling. Do you know what I mean? And there's all these opportunities that just sort of show up. And all you have to do is sort of be willing to participate and to get in, to get in the water. And it's interesting to sort of allow yourself to get into this flow that we see here with the Ace of Cups, with Temperance, with the Ten of Cups, with the Star card, the Lovers, the Empress, like seeing the Knight of Cups here, the King of Cups. Getting into flow here is really about addressing the beliefs you have about abundance and money. And I think that's why we're seeing the Pentacles to start, and why the Hierophant is here, that there may be a part of you that needs to address the beliefs that you're holding about abundance, money, resources, and whether or not those beliefs are sitting in lack or abundance, and it's very interesting. Here we see in this card another message that says that you can align to whatever you want in your consciousness, right? You can align to whatever you want. So if you choose to align with the idea of lack, you might find yourself feeling really scared and fearful about tomorrow. But if you align yourself with the energy of abundance through gratitude, then things could change. I know that some people hear that and they get triggered by it, especially when we talk about money. But, what's the harm in trying to change a belief, right? Like if you're sitting in a belief that says there isn't enough, and you really examine that on a deep level to understand where that's coming from, and then you shift that belief, like we saw with this Judgment card and the Tower card, and sort of tapping into these court cards, which show me that these potentials lie within you. And I feel like you've done this before. You've done this once before. So it's very interesting. It makes me feel like you have this task right now to sort of shift your beliefs, to shift your experience in the external world. Bottom of the deck is Milk and Honey. So this is a lot of prosperity, abundance, and happiness. Very similar energy to this Ten of Cups. Same rainbow. Okay, Leo, I'm going to leave it at that. Your reading was almost half an hour, but it's been a pleasure, actually. I've really enjoyed this reading. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to reading for you again very soon, my friends. Take care. Sending you so much love.